HB to the BT Motogp Qatar GP review. Let's get right to it. Glad to be back. And I'm not going to waste any time. Let's get right to it. Moto 3. Rider of the race, Moto 3 goes to Fursado. Fursado came from 18th to 3rd, but runner-up goes to Ivan Artola, who got taken out just in a rider incident, racing incident by Jose Antonio Rueda, who, by the way, was my heartbreak of the race. I thought he was going to get a podium, but anyway, Artola came from almost dead last to finish 8th. Great ride by him, but the move of all three classes was Daniel Holgado. I've watched MotoGP for going on at least, it's going on almost 20 years, whatever. The move he did was, I think, the most incredible move I've ever seen in MotoGP. Definitely Moto 3. He was on the inside of he's on the apex, and then he wiggled his way through, kind of like MotoGP fluted his way through, and passed on the outside. It was about 3 laps to go. Run that race back. If you guys got the video pass, run that pass back. Holgado, that's the move of the whole race. Moto 3 is going to be great. And thank God for Pirellis for saving Moto 2. Oh my God. Thank you, Pirelli. That was a Christmas present. Come late, come early, however you want to say it. At least it came. And we all loved when they came. Anyway. Moto 2, for some reason, whenever riders find out they're going to MotoGP, there's something that when you already know you're going someplace else and you're already in, like, it's almost like when you know you're going to get a divorce, right? You know you're getting a divorce and, like, you know, you're still with the person and you just want to be cordial, you know, so they don't key your car or, I don't know, put baking soda in your underpants, whatever. You know, you just try to be cordial. And that, I don't know if that's happened to Fermin Aldeguer. Because what's his incentive? I mean, of course you want to be a champion, but if you know you're going to MotoGP, your goal is already achieved for next year. You want a championship, but it's really hard to stay motivated for Moto 2. And I think that's what happened to Fermin Aldeguer. But rider of the race in Moto 2 goes to Alonso Lopez. Alonso Lopez is underrated. He's inconsistent, but when he's on, when he's hot like pastrami. And he was hot like pastrami in that race. Props to him. And Barry Baltus, the Belgian who loves Barry Sheen. Barry Baltus loves Barry Sheen. Matter of fact, I think that's why he was named Barry, because his parents like Barry Sheen, which is kind of weird. If I was the husband of the wife, I go, you like Barry Sheen too? But anyway, props to Barry Baltus. Rider of the race, Alonso Lopez. Heartbreak goes to Tony Arbolino. Man, I hope he doesn't end up like Baldassarri, where there was so much promise and you're almost at that MotoGP precipice and it just didn't work out. So, man, my heart goes to Tony Arbolino. I hope he can turn it around because he was on the precipice of going to MotoGP next year. He battled with Acosta, and now he's almost being the forgotten person. He's kind of like the Russian in Rocky IV when they all started rooting for Rocky in Russia, and he was like, Zabiet, which means, you know, I am real champion. I am real champion. And that's what it's like with Tony Arbolino. I hope he can get it together. He's a great rider. He's a great dude. But, man, I hope he doesn't lose that mojo. I felt like he definitely did that race where he finished out of the points. And props to Dinian Chu, who kept Fermin Aldeguer out of the points. So props to Pirelli for saving Moto 2. But, hey, you know what we're here for? We're here for MotoGP, baby. And first of all, let me tell you something, man. It's almost like the usual suspects in the sense of, don't get me wrong, Jorge Martin is like the two-pump chump. He is definitely a Saturday matinee specialist. He's good for a quickie, and that's what he is. Jorge Martin is great for a quickie. Like if it's like your girlfriend comes home and say, "Listen, I got to be back at work at 12:30. It's 11:45, and it's a 15-minute drive, so you know what to do." And that's what Jorge Martin is like. But if you give him a chance to have a whole evening with you and wine you and dine, he's like, and then he's nowhere to be seen. He's like, whoa, sorry. But I think he's managing races a lot better. But two things. We're not giving Pecco his props. Give him his flowers, as the young kids say. Give Pecco his flowers. He's doing the damn thing. Pecco, he's a Sunday afternoon special when it has to be done. Pecco is basically what Brad Binder is. You know, I say Brad Binder is he's a Sunday guy, but that's what Pecco is. Because Pecco knows, okay, it's like on Goodfellas. Hey, Saturday is for the girlfriends, Sunday is for the wives. And Pecco saves it for his wife because Sunday he went out of there like, as Matt Burt would say, like a scolded cat. And he just dominated that race where he said he made one mistake. Brad Binder said, you know, I was behind him, and I think he made like one mistake. I mean, I don't think he made any mistakes. He was incredible. And that's what he did. Pecco Bagnaia didn't get the credit he deserves. Granted, we all say he was protected when he won the first championship. But don't get me wrong, Pecco is more snarky than people give him credit for. He's more cutthroat than people give him credit for. He's like a silent assassin. He's a guy where if you know somebody's out to kill you and you scan the room, you don't think it's him, and then you go, uh-oh, and you don't get a chance to go, uh-oh. By the time you do, you go, oh, there's a red dot on your head, and after that, it's over. And that's what Pecco is. He's a straight assassin, but you don't know it. Brad Binder, listen, there comes a time when you got to go, hey, this rider's better than me or whatever. KTM said they have no excuses now. Brad Binder said, the bike's the best it's ever been, my guys. I love them, so I think we're going to have a great year. And I think he will, but Brad's got to do the damn thing as far as winning. He's got to get in the wars. And I think the war between him and Jorge ruined their chance to catch Pecco, because they were battling with each other, and Pecco had just enough, a 10th here and a 10th there, and he won by, I think, by 1.3, 1.4, and I think that battle hurt him. But at the same time, the talking point is always the talking point of MotoGP. Two talking points: Marquez on the Ducati and rookie Pedro Acosta. Now, if you're me, listen, I don't know, I'm sure some of you guys, some of you old heads or veterans, I know John Robinson, I know you're like this and you're worried about Pecco, and people are kind of, I don't say if you're getting, not sick of Pecco, but it's like, or Pedro, not sick of Pedro, but it's like, all you hear is Pedro. It's like Jan Brady. All I hear is Pedro. But it's warranted, and MotoGP needs Pedro, because if last weekend was a premonition of things to come, then he is the real deal. And you need him to be good, because you're going to need him to say, as Tony Montana would say, there goes the bad guy. There goes the bad guy. You people need people like me to say, there goes the bad guy. And that's what Pedro is. Pedro gets it. So if he knows he's going to play the villain like in WWE wrestling, then so be it. Because you need people to go, hey, I don't like that guy. He's too cocky. Who gives a shit? You're going to watch it just to watch him get beat. And if you love him, it's great. You're going to watch him take over the mantle. And when he passed Marquez, I'm not going to lie. When he passed Marquez, I almost wanted to cry. I was like, oh, come on, Mark. Don't let this punk pass you. And I like Pedro, but I was like, come on. But Mark is still a fucking killer. I think personally, I think Mark he didn't let him pass him, but he's like, okay, let's see what you got. Okay. And I think Mark knew he was going to burn his tires out. But Mark even said it. Mark didn't press the issue because he knew his front was shot and he wanted to get some points. But Mark's going to get it. And when he gets it, oh, he's going to get it. And it's going to be, racing's going to be even better. I don't know what Portimao is going to hold. They didn't test there. But I'm going to say this, I'm going to say it right now. When Mark gets it, I mean, this is him learning the bike, learning his team. And it takes a while. But Mark is such a damn veteran. Even though he was getting it in the wet, he was in the top 5. And I'm going to say this right now. The brothers Marquez, I'm going to say this right now. The brothers Marquez are going to take the team title. Okay? It's going to be between him, Aprilia, and Factory Ducati. So Bastianini and Pecco, the Marquez brothers, and Aprilia are going to be up for the team title. I'm going to say the brothers Marquez. I think Alex is going to get it this year. But I think Mark's going to go fourth. And I think he's going to get it hopefully before the break. I think definitely before the break, I think. But once he gets it, then we're going to see the sparks fly. And I really think Pedro is going to be that fly at the picnic, or that mosquito at the picnic. You're trying to enjoy your food and your potato salad. He's like, But what Pedro is, he's that freshman that comes in that second semester and he tries out for the basketball team. And they go, this guy's just a freshman. And he really is that good. He's that kid that's on the punching bag, on the heavy bag. You go, he's hitting the heavy bag. Wait till you get in a race. And he gets in a fight and you go, damn, he is that good. And that's what Pedro is. I think Pedro's a real deal. We'll see. But what he did was so impressive. I can't wait for Portimao. Thank you guys for watching. Like I said, man, this is going to be a great year. And thank God for Pirelli's and Moto2. And I mean, like I said, I feel bad for the rest of those riders, especially like Tony Arbolino. Those tires fell off like the Titanic when they hit the iceberg. Like, fall off, dead ahead. And that's what happened for those guys. But thank God for Pirelli and Moto2 and Moto3. MotoGP, better than ever. I don't even have a prediction for Portimao. I'm just going to say it right now, though. And I hate to say this because I love him and he shaved his head. Jack Miller is taking MotoGP serious. His fun days, I think, are over because he's married and he's got a kid. And nothing takes the fun out of you than marriage and a kid. That makes you go from to fuck. So he's shaved, he looks clean shaven, he's taking it serious, but you know what? I think no matter what Jack does, short of winning a championship, that second seat in KTM is going to be Pedro Acosta's. Hopefully, and I don't know the other seat. I don't know if they're going to let, and you got to let Fernandez stay. So who gets the other gas seat? I think Pedro and Jack should switch places. I really do. I can't really see anybody from Moto 2 coming up being so good that they take Jack out of MotoGP. But I think Jack knows the writing's on the wall. I think Jack goes to gas next year. Pedro goes to KTM, and then next year I'm talking about how good MotoGP is. Going to be better than the year before, which is now. So anyway, that's my assessment of the races. I know it's a little choppy, but hey, it's my first race of the year. I'm happy, just like you guys. Tell me what you guys think. Who was right of the race in your opinion? Who was the MVP? Like I said, Danny Holgado's move in Moto 3. You got to run it back and watch it. It was within the last 3 laps. So watch the Moto 3 last 3 laps. Daniel Holgado, damn, that was a great move. Anyway, thank you guys. Went way too long, but hey, first race of the season. Watch out for Marquez. Watch out for Brothers Marquez. They're going to be the team champions. Watch out for when Pedro gets it, when Pedro and Mark get it. Oh my God, I can't wait for those battles. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. I'm BT. You know what I say about this time. You know the word. Bye.